Hi, Amy. Good to see you. If you can do me a favor and turn your video off. Do you know how to do that? It's down on the bottom left of the screen. Thank you, Amy. I have you muted because we're about to start, but when it's your turn to speak, we will definitely get you unmuted and get your video started back up.
Hello, and welcome to Raleigh Little Theatre's 2020 Cantey Awards. We're making history tonight with the first virtual annual meeting and award ceremony. I'm Phyllis Parrish Howard. I'm president of the board of directors for Raleigh Little Theatre. And you know what a timely way to open tonight's event with video. Video seen virtually. Online is the new normal, it seems. It's how we work. We're working virtually. We're gathering virtually. And it's how we stay connected with one another. Let me give a big thank you to our production manager, Dennis Fairfield, for producing that compelling video for us. You know, when produced well, like the opening video was, it speaks to our hearts. It's storytelling. It's just on a different platform, a different stage. Those first words we saw, postponed, rescheduling, canceled, they certainly tell the story of life at the theater since March 13th. But like in the video, we've also seen how our talented staff did not let those difficult words stop them. They've become more determined, more creative, and more committed to the mission of the theater, all during this COVID crisis. These uncertain times call for extra patience, extra creativity, extra compassion. And that's what you'll find among our superb staff and our loyal theater community. An inspiring, resourceful team made up of individuals with extra big hearts. We all care deeply about Raleigh Little Theatre. We're all in this together. And together, we'll ensure RLT continues to thrive for decades of volunteers, actors, and audiences to come. Now, to begin our annual meeting, I'd like to recognize our outgoing board members whose terms expired June 30th. We have 5 individuals rotating off, and these folks have contributed in so many ways. I'll share a few of the highlights for each of them and the service they've given to the theater and our theater community. David Bennett. First of all, David met his wife, Devin, at RLT. How about that? He and Devin helped create our Art in the Garden event. David was incredibly helpful in working on the Gaddy Goodwin redesign. He was the scenic designer for our Little Shop of Horrors production. David completed 6 years, that's 2 terms of service on the board, but he and his family have been involved and participated in programs at RLT for decades. His family is definitely part of the RLT family. We thank you, David. Stuart Byam. Stuart served on RLT's board for 10 years, 8 of those as secretary. That's a lot of note-taking, isn't it? He served as MC for many events, including our season launch party. During the Museum of History's Shakespeare Marathon, Stuart directed our reading of Titus Andronicus at the marathon hour of 3 a.m. And he's slated to direct Morning After Grace next season. Most recently, Stuart was chair of our executive search committee. This was a long process, but the end result was an excellent ED hire, thanks to Stuart and the committee. For all of your contributions, Stuart, we thank you. Scott Fawnlin, our political guru. Through the years, Scott has always been available and ready to provide sharp insight to help us tackle any issue. He was a big help during the Gaddy Goodwin fundraising process. He knows a lot of people, and he helped us with important connections. Scott was one of the key people in the detailed process of rewriting our bylaws. And his service on the Finance Committee during this crisis has been extremely helpful. He asks great questions, and he gives great advice. Scott completed his 2nd term, and a big salute to Scott, and thank you for your service. Graham Satisky. Graham completed 3 years on the board, and during each of those years, she was helpful behind the scenes in fundraising, especially during our annual Divas fundraising event. Last year, Graham co-chaired our Divas committee, and the event raised the most money ever. We appreciate all of your work for RLT, Graham. Thank you. Sam Spillman. Sam and his family are a constant presence at opening nights. Sam served as treasurer for many years, and he was instrumental in the planned bidding task force. He was vice president of our board this past year, and as part of the VP role, Sam headed up our leadership committee. Sam wrapped up his 2nd term, 6 years on the board, and we look forward to seeing Sam in the future of opening nights at the theater. Thanks for all your contributions, Sam. Now let me introduce our 5 new members who joined us this month on the board. Cliff Cates is in leadership at Duke Energy, where he's worked for the past 20 years. His middle daughter has performed and attended RLT camps and classes for the last 5 years. Steve Epstein is a litigation and family law partner at Poynter Spruill. He's been a practicing lawyer for 30 years. Steve is also a published author. He credits his daughter, who is active in RLT camps and classes, for getting him involved at the theater. Aliana Ramos is a web content manager for the city of Raleigh. She started volunteering at RLT as a costume dresser in 2012, and she got hooked on the magic of theater. This past year, Aliana served as the volunteer representative on the board. Philip Bernard Smith joined the North Carolina Black Repertory Company in 1992. Just a few of his many theater credits include The Piano Lesson, Radio Golf, Gem of the Ocean, and Macbeth. In 2017, Philip won a Cantey Award for his amazing performance in The Whipping Man. Kimberly Wood is a senior consultant at Yardy Systems. Kimberly's love of volunteering at RLT began at a very young age when she helped her mother with opening night receptions in the green room. Kimberly is now a steady volunteer at our Sensory Friendly series. And Shonda Branch is the director of theater at Southeast Raleigh High School. She was first appointed to the City of Raleigh Arts Commission in 2014 and reappointed to 2 additional terms by the City Council. She was the first Black woman to serve as chair. So how about that group of 5 new board members for us? We're very excited about their service, their skills, and their energy for the board. Now let me introduce our new executive director, Heather Strickland. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, already know Heather. She's been a volunteer, a director, a teaching artist, and a board member at RLT. And if you know Heather, then you know about her vision, her passion, and her commitment to our theater community. We feel very fortunate to have Heather at the helm, leading us at this time. She officially began June 17th, but with her wise guidance, it feels like she's been leading us for years. Please welcome RLT's Executive Director, Heather Strickland.
Thank you so much, Phyllis. And we appreciate your guidance and leadership through so many of these hard times. And we look forward to a time when you can lead us through some really happy times.
Thank you.
Welcome all, good evening. The Canteys have always been one of my favorite events and shared moments of the year, and I am humbled and grateful to not only to be able to share this evening with you all, but also to be here as your new executive director. The staff of RLT is all here with me tonight, and I first want to take the time to introduce the incredible humans that I get to work with every day. Alicia Gray, our business manager, has been here for 6 months, a very wild 6 months. Megan Farrell, our marketing manager, has been here for about a year. Scott Ray, our box office supervisor, has been here for nearly 2 years. Dennis Bearfield, our production manager and technical director, has been here for over 2.5 years. And there's Megan. Meredith Peterson Cooper, our director of education, has been here for almost 3.5 years. Patrick Torres, our artistic director, has been here for 6 years. And Jenny Mitchell, our costume designer, has been here for 13 years. Well, it seems a lifetime ago, our 2019-20 season began in July last year and started with the stunning production of Antigone by our Teens on Stage, Teens Backstage. And we have had many successful productions since then. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, Blood at the Root, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, Cinderella, The Curious Incident of the Dog in Nighttime, and Seussical Jr. There are so many things to celebrate with what did happen this year. There was laughter, joy, amazement, stories that pushed us into the harder moments of human connection, and stories that we all need to know as we work toward a more just world. Our community grew, our hearts grew. And then we hit a moment that makes it hard to recall anything else that happened before that. A Jungle Book was in tech rehearsals when we had to cancel that production. A Raisin in the Sun was already in rehearsals when we had to cancel. And Urinetown had begun the creative process and was in the early stages of auditioning. We had to cancel classes and school programs and go through some of the most heartbreaking layoffs of our life. Jeremy, Tyler, Kathleen, and Morgan, we miss our colleagues, our friends. We had to postpone our entire 2021 season. Our budget is cut nearly in half, and the future is uncertain. The impact of this crisis is something that we will be feeling the effects of for a while. But RLT has been around for over 80 years, and we are resilient, if nothing else. Before I became the AED, I worked in early childhood systems and policy. Much of our energy was spent focusing on what it meant to build resilience. How do we build resilience in our young children? How do we build resilience in our communities? And there are 6 key indicators of resilience. The first one is sustainable. And thanks to the incredible work of staff, RLT had a strong financial foundation heading into this crisis, one that will ensure our doors will open back up. The second indicator is a systems approach, which for us means a community approach. We know how important the entire community is when creating, and we hold with tremendous value that so many call RLT home and family. The third is people that care. We are a group of staff, teaching artists, and over 1,000 active volunteers that consistently take care of each other on and off stage. The fourth is adaptable. Our ability to adapt has never been more evident than it is right now as we move classes, shows, and the way of connecting to our community to a virtual space. The fifth is transformative. When adapting is no longer enough, transformation becomes critical. Currently, we are adapting to survive, but when it comes to rebuilding and thriving, that will require transformation, especially in order to break down the systemic barriers and truly create a welcoming and inclusive space for all. The last key indicator is courage. It takes courage to be a part of creating art, to authentically understand and learn about art, to be vulnerable with art. Courage, we have in spades. Tonight is about celebration, celebrating the good times and the successes, and celebrating that we have everything it takes to get through the hard times. We are celebrating you. And I am grateful for each and every single one of you. And I could not imagine being in a different role, in a different space, going through these hard times, and eventually going through the wonderful times with all of you. And now I get to turn it over to my favorite human to create art alongside of, Patrick Torres.
Thank you, Heather. Folks, if you have ever worked with Heather, you know what a smart, passionate, courageous, and incredible warrior she is. Let me tell you, she is no different as an executive director. She's already making us better, and I get a front row seat to see her at work. It's already been such a great honor to work next to you, Heather, and I look forward to all of our collaboration. And I can't wait for everybody to get to be in the same space as you, because you're really inspiring, and I'm glad you're here. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2020 Cantey Awards. This is our culminating event of every season, where we honor the work of many of our volunteers and celebrate our community. The Cantey Awards are named after Cantey Venable Sutton, who we honor as our founder. And while spending this evening honoring her legacy, we must also acknowledge Raleigh Little Theatre is located on land that was taken from the Catawba Indian tribe more than 6,000 years ago. Tonight, we also honor their stewardship of this land and their fight for official recognition that was not granted until 1993. To learn more about the Catawba Indian tribe and the work they continue to do to this day, please visit catawbaindian.net. In my 6 years, yes, this Saturday will mark my 6th anniversary as artistic director, I have come to deeply value the Cantey Awards. I value them not only because we get to recognize the achievements of so many of our deserving volunteers, but also because it is an opportunity for everyone who poured so much time and energy and talent into creating amazing stories for our community to come together. This year, we don't have the privilege of being in the theater together. Instead, we are gathered here in this virtual world. This is the way we've been meeting with folks for months now. So many of us never imagined our human-to-human interactions would proceed through screens for this amount of time. And I know many of us feel the weight of not knowing how long this will last. We hope to see you in person in the amphitheater tonight. But here we are, convening in the way that we can safely for right now. And even though I can't shake your hand or give you a hug, I can tell you this: I am glad you are here. Thank you for showing up. The past 4.5 months have been difficult, to say the least. When I found out our former executive director, Charles Phaneuf, was leaving and I was being appointed as interim executive director, I thought, it's cool, I can do this. All I need to do is keep the ship afloat until the new ED is on board. And I had full confidence I could do it for 3 reasons. One, Charles's tenure as executive director was marked by incredible growth and a healthy financial profile. Number 2, the staff of RLT is incredible. I mean it. Each and every staff person who had a hand in this season is an amazing person. Any success I've had is truly a credit to the team that worked so hard to keep this ship running. And finally, I knew the volunteers had our backs. The volunteers would fight alongside us and not let us fall. So it's supposed to be easy, but then the world changed. We had to close the building. We had to cancel shows. We had to wrestle with the pain of losing our ability to gather in person, which strikes right at the heart of what we do in theater. This art form is about closing the distance between people. It's about drawing them towards one another. As a staff, we had to get creative. So we pivoted towards online opportunities for our classes. And I had to learn financial management in a sink or swim situation. But through it all, I had a dedicated board, an amazing staff, and incredible volunteers to lean on every time I faced an obstacle. And I sincerely thank each and every one of you who helped me while I was the interim. And I am so glad that Heather is here now. When I take the time to reflect on the journey of the last few months and all the trials we have faced, I find inspiration in being reminded that the starting point of RLT's story was over 80 years ago. It was 1936, and the country was still in a Great Depression, with hints of a new war beginning to bubble up around the world. The times were uncertain, scary, unpredictable. When a group of community members worked together to build this organization. And in its 80-year history, that has been the identity of this place. Committed community members working together to build something meaningful, even when times are hard. The war that was hinted at finally came in the 1940s. And RLT struggled to find the resources to continue. But it did. And it did because of the people. The theater has operated through the Vietnam War, the Korean War, the AIDS crisis, the attacks of 9/11, the financial collapse of 2008, and so many other moments of crisis throughout its history. And through each, the theater has stood as a second home for the citizens of Raleigh to work together, to bring beauty in dark times, offer comfort in sadness, provide a sense of family in moments of despair, to provide laughter through struggle, and to speak truth in the face of injustice. That's what great theater does. And it was the community who did all of this. And here we are right now in the middle of a global pandemic that is causing fear and pain and heartache. Right now, in a moment of reckoning, as we stand up to end the history of violent racism in this country. Right now, we have an opportunity, you and I, to change our own racist practices, to bring healing to our community, to live into our mission of being a welcoming space for all, to bring joy to the hearts of the hurting, to bring comfort to those who are scared, to build the future of this organization together by leaning into our history of togetherness and commitment. Because it's going to take all of us to ensure this company is here in another 80 years. And for the people who are calling this place their second home in that distant future, let's make sure that the chapter that they write about us is characterized by the resilience that Heather was talking about, and characterized by justice, and characterized by courage and love. We need you to help us be who we were meant to be. Whether we must continue in the virtual world for some time or are able to meet in the same room again, there is a place for you here. We need you. We believe theater has the power to change communities, and that's what the world needs right now. We are so grateful for each and every one of you, and together we will discover that we, working together, we are the path out of this darkness. The world's going to need us on the other end. Let us live up to our history and write an even better story as we rebuild RLT together. I hope you'll join with me to do that. Thank you so much. All right, folks, I invite you all to take a collective, deep breath. Let's breathe in through our nose, out through our mouths. And we're about to get ready to honor some amazing folks. So I'm going to put on my red carpet attire. Give me 1 second. All right. Now that I got that on, we can get started. So tonight's ceremony already feels different, but we are still here to celebrate you. And that's what the point of this is. It's a celebration. We're going to have some fun. Tonight belongs to each and every one of you who gave your time and efforts this season. Now, some folks tonight are going to have their names mentioned, all right, and they'll be given an honor and an award, and they deserve that. But tonight belongs to each of us, because beside each person who's getting recognized tonight stands an army of others who put in so many hours to make this season happen. Thank you to each of you. Tonight, we'll not be handing out physical awards. We'll be sending all the awardees a special gift, but not the traditional awards. We also decided to suspend our process of giving out performance awards in specific categories with nominees and winners. Instead, the Cantey committee, who saw every show this season and was really hard at work, they chose 10 outstanding performances from the season to recognize as a collective. And the reason that I made this decision was I believe that this is a way to honor the people who did the work, okay? But not to make it into a competition as it has been before, because this year we lost 3 productions. And 2 of those productions were already in rehearsal. And I can tell you from being the artistic director and from sitting in some of those rehearsals that there were some excellent performances happening. So we felt like the best way to honor the amended season was to just not make it a competition and just give out awards for outstanding performances. Here's the other thing that we won't be doing tonight that you're probably accustomed to with the Cantey Awards. We also won't be recognizing a best production for the season. Rather, here's what I would love to have you do. whatever platform you're on, YouTube or Facebook, I would love for you to put into the comments what your favorite production was this year and tell us why. And then we'll have a document of what our community thought. And we'll be excited to hear the many different shows that people thought were so great this year. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. And here we go. We are going to get going. And so I am going to throw it over to Dennis Burfield to start handing out the first of our awards tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Patrick. It's my pleasure to present the Al D. Wolfheimer Awards for this group of outstanding volunteers. The first award goes to Ben and Chris Reinhardt. Ben and Chris have been joining us in the scene shop during our Wednesday and Saturday work calls for numerous productions over the past year. Every time I've encountered them working on a project, both of them have had this incredible aura that just radiates excitement for what they're doing. It doesn't matter what they're working on. They could be building some scenery, working on lighting, painting, or just lending a hand after a strike with the exciting task of organizing and cleaning. But it's their sincere curiosity for the project they're working on and how it relates to the whole production that is what is incredible. Their enthusiasm and generosity make them incredible people. They have been kind enough to join us here in this virtual broadcast, and I'd like to give them a moment to speak about their experiences here at RLT. Hey, Chris.
Hi, Dennis.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for honoring Ben and me with the Al D. Wolfheimer Volunteer Award. And thank you to the Raleigh Little Theatre professional staff for nominating us. It's a pleasure to be here with so many talented and dedicated people.
I have some words that I would like to say. I'd first like to start by saying thank you to all the wonderful people I've worked with over the years, especially Alec and Joseph. Another great person is Tyler. It's a shame he can't be here today. It's a shame any of them aren't here to see this. They would be proud. Of all the people I've worked with, they're the three that stand out the most. It's been and continues to be a pleasure to volunteer at Raleigh Little Theatre, hoping that once the pandemic is past, we can continue where we left off.
So Ben has always loved to build and create. And at age 14, he was showing a real love of carpentry. So we were looking for a way that he could expand his skills and help his community at the same time. Now, most places said that he was way too young to work with power tools. So I thought that we had truly hit a dead end and that we would have to wait until he was older. But then I started to wonder, why not try the theater? Somebody's making those sets, so why not us? And I'll never forget the first call that I had with Dennis and how wonderful and how much it really, really touched my heart when he said, everyone is welcome here at Raleigh Little Theatre. I couldn't believe my ears and I wondered, all right, what's the catch? But everyone knows this who works in and around Raleigh Little Theatre, that there is no catch. Dennis really meant it. We came to Raleigh Little Theatre in the hopes that we could find a place where Ben could continue learning and testing out a future career. And of course we found that, but we also found so much more. Over the years, we've hung lights, we've painted, we've used chop and jigsaws, right? We folded lots of curtains and helped tackle whatever else there was on the to-do list that day. And we've made friends, lots of friends along the way. At the same time, we fell into a vibrant, enthusiastic, and caring community that was always eager to teach us and share a smile. There's so many positive things that have happened as a result of our volunteering here. Ben's seen more plays in the last 2 years than the first 14 years of his whole life. And he's liked them. And I love seeing how much his skills and confidence have grown as he's gained mentors. And that's the spirit of our community theater here in Raleigh, and we love being a part of it. So thank you again for honoring us with this award, and congratulations to all of the award winners.
Thanks, Ben and Chris. It's really good to see you, and I can't wait to be back in the shop with you. The next recipient for the L.D. Wolfheimer Award has been incredibly generous to RLT by volunteering not only on stage, but backstage. They have served in backstage positions ranging from deck crew, props crew, even set construction, and that's just to name a few. However, when we were looking for an assistant stage manager for Your Good Man, Charlie Brown, this person stepped outside of their comfort zone and volunteered. They were a little nervous at first because they didn't feel that they had a good enough experience, but ultimately they did a fantastic job. Many of their peers would come up to me either during a break or even after the production and would share some really kind words about how well they performed as a technician and as an assistant stage manager. If you haven't guessed who I'm talking about yet, I'd like to give this award to Dan Bain. And he's an awesome person to work with. If you haven't had a chance to, you're really missing out. Hey, Dan. Oh, you're muted.
Hey, Dennis.
There you go.
Thank you for those kind words. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, everyone else out there. First, let me say I'm speaking tonight as a crew member, not an actor, and in true crew member during first tech rehearsal fashion, I've neither memorized nor rehearsed anything. So if I go more than a minute, I'm sorry. And secondly, when my eyes dart away from the camera, just know I'm reading a script. Now, if your eyes dart away, it's understandable. Those with decent screen resolution might be grossed out by the multiple fresh abrasions on my face. Sorry about that. In the recent absence of theater, I've thrown myself into more challenging activities like riding a bike. And in theatrical fashion, I've renamed that hobby my penchant of Venice because it seems like it constantly demands a pound of my flesh. Wah, wah. Anyway, Patrick, I hope my time limit doesn't include that prologue. Thank you so much to everyone for this recognition and for honoring the work of all backstage volunteers in general. RLT makes every volunteer opportunity enjoyable due to the efforts of their staff, production teams, and other volunteers. There are too many to name, but I would really be remiss if I didn't thank the fabulous Kathleen Rudolph for having first opened the RLT doors to me and for having brought me back multiple times, fool that she is, on stage and backstage. Kathleen, I know you're out there watching this, and you know how much I respect and admire you. Sorry I don't have time tonight to literally sing your praises as I usually do. I'm also grateful to my own personal deck crew, my family, for their support. Thank you to my wife, Kim, for her patience, understanding, and generosity with our time. Thank you to my son, Chris, for not being upset when he couldn't use the car on show nights. And thank you to my son, Matthew, for being both a partner and an enabler on this journey. See, Matthew is the reason I first took the black, as it were. He and another 12-year-old were cast in Blood Don't Sign My Name, which is a pretty somber play for someone that young to tackle. The adults involved regularly joked about passing a hat at rehearsals to help pay for the boys' future therapy after having to deal with such weighty subject matter. Plus, after I learned director Joseph Meagle had taught my baby boy how to mime a certain act that's generally reserved for adults, while smoking no less, I thought maybe I should become more involved. So I joined the props crew, and I've since done props, deck, projections, and assistant stage management, as Dennis so kindly mentioned, on numerous other productions, with RLT constantly supporting, educating, and welcoming me the whole way. As a bonus, earlier this year, I was able to claim the hours as community service in order to keep a traffic ticket off my record. So thanks for that as well. I think I get more nervous about working backstage than I've ever been about performing on stage, but it's always a blast. And to all the actors out there, please consider crewing at least once during your career. I guarantee you'll have fun, as well as gaining a helpful perspective on the art that you produce. And once we get back to normal in-person shows, actors, be sure to thank your crew and other volunteers before, during, and after every rehearsal and show. Lastly, I feel compelled to add that as a straight white cis male, virtual jackpot winner in every category of the privilege lottery, I have a deep love and appreciation for the diversity I've encountered at RLT and the attitude that they have for it, towards it. I only hope I've mirrored the welcoming, inclusive attitude I've seen in everyone else there. RLT, please keep that up. It is your brand. It does not go unnoticed, and it is profoundly important. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing all of you as soon as safely possible.
Thanks, Dan. I too am not reading from a script. I just don't like to make eye contact, ever at all. Our next technician that I like to welcome and award is Jay Butcher. Anytime a call is put out for a production, you can expect Jay to sign up, oftentimes on multiple positions on different crews of the same show. He's extremely reliable and a pleasure to have at RLT. He's flexible when sudden tech needs change, and anytime I've run into him during tech, he's always ready to go in whatever position he signed up for. Also, there's been a few occasions where some last minute adjustments were needed for crew, and anytime I reached out to Jay, he was always available. I want to welcome Jay up and give you a chance to say a few things.
Hello.
Hey.
Well, to be honest, wow, where does he me? I guess I should start with how I decided to join. In high school, I was interested in theater, but not exactly available due to my other interest in always having some kind of overlap. I'm just having trouble finding words. It's beyond. After high school, I lost track of myself, and RLT helped me find it. Thank you so much, and I guess I'm done.
Thanks, Jay. I can't wait to see you again. Thanks for joining us this evening. Our next winner this evening is Ray Quarles. Ray first joined us for our summer theater camp program, Teens on Stage and Teens Backstage production of Antigone. If you're not familiar with the summer camp, I highly recommend you keep an eye out for it when it comes back around. The participants who join us for the summer program are incredibly talented and have incredible futures ahead of them, but I digress. Ray has been a part of Teens Backstage and through the production had gotten experience in just about every department. However, their main interest was in sound design where they really shined. Between then, Ray had joined us on a few other productions on our sound crew and eventually served as our sound designer for You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. This production presented Ray with some new experiences. Although they had experiences creating a diverse soundscape and design for production, they'd never live mixed vocals for a show. And with the help of Todd Houseknecht, the production sounded great. We thank you here at RLT, and we'd like to invite you on to say a few things about your experiences.
Hi, Dennis, and thank you so much. I wanted to start by saying how thankful I am for the RLT volunteer program. I truly feel that being a young creative, I have been welcomed in with open arms, and being able to work every day during a show week with these older adults who are so inspirational to me and always say such good words to me has truly helped me cement an idea that I can truly have a career in theater and I can succeed. I hope I'm able to come back after college and continue to work on RLT productions, because the atmosphere in which I am brought to is one where, even as a young creative, where I'm 18 years old and many of the people that I work with are well older than me and have much more experience than me, I have never had a moment where I did not feel like I was at the same level and respected at the same level. And that, I feel, is something that is very unique to Raleigh Little Theatre, where I always feel that my opinion and my values and my views are not only heard, but they are valued and they are taken into account. So I would like to thank everyone who I have volunteered with, who I have worked under, worked with, and who has helped mentor me, as well as my parents, who at the beginning of me working with Raleigh Little Theatre has having to drive me very late at night to very many shows. So thank you all so much, and I hope to see you soon.
Okay, everyone, that's enough for me for a while. Now I'd like to introduce last year's winner of the Best Performance by an Actor in Supporting Role in the production The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, Gus Allen.
Hey, everybody. All right, it is officially time to party. And as such, I'm wearing my traditional party jacket. It's my character's coat from the RLT production of One Man, Two Governors. But it is really warm in here, so this has got to go. Hey, what is this? Look, it's my t-shirt from the 2013 Raleigh Little Theatre production of The Importance of Being Earnest. But what I'm trying to say is, a lot of stuff happens at Raleigh Little Theatre over the years. But after the shows close and the classes are over and the archives are updated, there are so many memories that last a lifetime. Theater matters. What happens in those seats, what happens on stage, under the stage, in those catacombs, it matters. And I'm just so grateful that we are celebrating it and talking about it. And anybody who's out there watching us digitally, thank you so much. But I am very excited for both of the awards that I was asked to present tonight. They're both special to me for very different reasons. The first one goes to someone who is not only near and dear to me as a human being, but also someone that I greatly admire as a uniquely skilled character actor. So this first performance award goes to Brian Westbrook for his role as all of the Dicewith family members in A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Brian is not only a fantastic singer and dramatic actor, but he is one of only a handful of people in the area who can pull off more than just one or two characters in the same show and keep them really differentiated and not relying on the costume to do all the work. Brian has given some fantastic performances on the RLT stage, but I don't think any of them has required as much of him as this show. But lucky for us, Brian has a lot to give. Playing 9 outrageously different characters, he absolutely killed it as every single one of them. Or should I say he was killed as every single one of them? Well, either way, congratulations, Brian. I love you, man.
Thank you, Gus Allen. That was awesome. Thank you, RLT. Thank you, everybody. Man, Gentleman's Guide was a blast. And man, it feels like it was 9 years ago at this point. I have to first thank my dressers for Gentleman's Guide. There were 9 Dicewith family members, but there were something like 120 costume changes in that show. And I had 3 very gracious helpers with me every single night. So thank you, Danielle Welch, who was our dresser crew, and Amy and Aliana and Heather and Shree and all the dressers who helped me out every single night with my mustaches. I also need to thank, I mean, there were so many people that made this show happen. The costumes for this show were just so intricate. I love the fact that Heather had one of our dresses behind her, and I think Patrick has one of my costumes behind him in the ceremony, because they are just absolutely gorgeous. And so the costume crew was great. That set, I have to tell you, when I found out we were getting that pole stage, like 8-year-old theater Brian just squealed, and every single night I squealed getting to ride on it. Like, it was just joyful, and I know it took a lot of work, and I cannot thank you all enough. It was brilliant. Our directors, Nancy, our choreographer, who was just always so damn joyful to work with. I love working with you. Just getting up and creating with you was always like just sprightly and wonderful and joyous. I was so happy and thrilled to have my dear, dear friend Mark Hopper as our music director for this show. Just quintessential musician, gentleman, friend, and put together an amazing orchestra and got the best music out of that show, which is not easy. This is, I think, this is the third or fourth show that I've worked with Patrick on, with him as director, and I just follow that man into battle anywhere. Thank you for your grace under pressure and strenuous, stressful circumstances. Our cast was just so amazing. I love all of you, and I just love that every time we came to rehearsal, everybody was just so into having fun and working really, really hard so that we could have even more fun. Our stage managers, Scott, Amanda, and Alex, God knows I would have been lost. We all would have been lost without you. I want to thank George for helping me not be terrified of guns on stage and making it safe, and also helping to make it work. Gentlemen's Guides, it really does feel like it was a long time ago, but I really, really hold that memory, the memory of that show close, and I always will. I really love RLT. I haven't done a show anywhere in this area, probably anywhere in my life, at a theater that has more heart and has more just grace and attachment to the community and history, and it's just hearty. RLT is a hearty place, man. And when things fall apart, RLT like picks up the pieces and makes art with it. And that's what theater is. That's what we all do. That's what we do when our mustaches fall off. That's what we do, when things just aren't going the way that maybe we all expect them to. So thank you, RLT. I love all of you. I love this place. Thank you, Gus. And yeah, keep on trucking. Thanks, Cal.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Congratulations. The next performance award goes to someone from my personal favorite production this season, Blood at the Root. And it's astonishing seeing what's going on in the world and how we view equality and how we should be treating each other. We ask, what can we do as a collective humanity to improve it? What can we do? And here, these young people at RLT were already doing it. If you saw the production of Blood at the Root, I promise you were moved in many ways. This cast and crew dove into this honest portrayal of very real and very ugly truths from the past and the present, and they did it all from a place of love. And that is the most important part. To see them on stage in the Gaddy Theater pouring out their fear and their anger, and then to see them off stage all hugging and celebrating together as a theater family, it just gives me so much hope. I loved that group so much. So I personally celebrate the entire cast and crew, and I also have the honor of presenting this performance award to Asia Slade for her role as Ray Lynn in Blood at the Root. I've been blessed to watch Asia's progression from her work at NC State and now out in the world at large. She is a fantastic young actor and a very gifted singer as well. And I'm incredibly proud to present to her, Asia Slade, this performance award. Congratulations, my friend.
Hi, thank you guys so much for this award. Blood at the Root was the first show that I did at RLT, and before I came to this theater, I had heard so many positive things in the community about working here. So I was very, very excited to get to work here the first time. And I think Blood at the Root was a really special show. It was really relevant to what's happening now and really my whole entire life. Because I think we all have that moment that's hit us hard. And I think Blood at the Root really captured one of those moments that is just really intense and that really shows you a lot about yourself and about the world that you live in and forces you to open your eyes. And Raylan as a character was such a joy to play. She is the version of myself I've always wanted to be. She is strong. She stands up for what she believes in. And being able to play that role inspired me to take on some of those characteristics in my own life. And it was just such a great show to start my experience here with. And the cast was amazing. And Lamerev is one of my favorite directors to work with. So overall, it was a wonderful experience. And I am so thankful to everyone who nominated me and got this award for me. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations, Asia. Now, as I rush off into the wings, I'd like to introduce Meredith Peterson, RLT's Director of Education. Meredith?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Meredith Peterson Cooper. I'm the Director of Education at RLT. Really happy to be with you tonight. Tonight, I am presenting the Youth Initiative Awards. The Youth Initiative Award is a special award given to RLT teaching assistants in recognition of their dedication to the art of teaching theater. Their love of and respect for theater is so contagious that they not only inspire the students in their care, but the teachers they assist as well. Recipients of the Youth Initiative Award go above and beyond in Raleigh Little Theatre classrooms, casts, and organizations, and have proven themselves to be humanitarians, free thinkers, role models, and above all else, examples of kindness, patience, and insight. This year, we have two individuals who have truly gone above and beyond in their role as teaching assistants in our youth classes to honor with this award. So I'm going to invite Leah Basin to join me on screen while I read some nice things about her. So Leah has served as a TA in the education program for a few years now. And this year she was a regular with a class lined up to TA almost every session. And that included when we moved our classes online this spring. Some of the praise from teaching artists who have worked with Leah this year. Leah is incredible. She is always willing to participate in every game and does so with a big smile. Her open heart and attention to every student is extremely helpful in making RLT a comfortable, safe space for everyone. And another teaching artist said, Leah was not just a TA. She was a stage manager, arts and crafts assistant, prompter, scribe, pipe cleaner pro, and wrangler of lost googly eyes. And she definitely knows how to organize both objects and people. So we are so grateful that Leah has stuck with our programs as we've moved classes and summer camps online. She's still very much a regular, very helpful to all of our teaching artists. And so I'm so glad that students still get to be greeted by her warm and welcoming presence, even on Zoom. So thank you, Leah, and congratulations. And I'll turn it over to you if there's anything you'd like to say.
Thank you so much for the award. I'm honored to have worked with so many amazing people while volunteering at Raleigh Little Theatre. I've been involved with RLT since I was going to camps myself, and I never would have imagined that I would have gone from a camper to a counselor. I always looked up to the counselors as great role models, and I'm honored to now be a counselor myself, and hopefully I'm rubbing off on the kids. I would like to thank all the campers, teachers, and teaching assistants I've worked with in my time at RLT, but most importantly, I would like to thank you guys because if it hadn't been for the amazing staff and mentors at RLT, I don't think I would have been working here today. And I thank you for helping me grow so much. And I speak for everybody who volunteers when I say thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And next, I'll invite our next recipient of the Youth Initiative Award, Margie Pendergraft. So you can join me on screen while I read some nice things about you, Margie. Margie has served as a teaching assistant for multiple sessions of our creative drama classes and ScriptWorks classes for elementary students this past school year. Always a friendly face in the lobby to greet students, Margie is always prepared, engaged, and welcoming. As one of the teaching artists lucky enough to have Margie TA multiple of her classes said, Margie was an outstanding TA in my classes this past year. She was an enthusiastic, eager, and confident assistant with natural leadership qualities. The students absolutely adored her and respected her authority. She even went the extra mile by making the kids accessories on her own time to wear during one of our final sharings. Margie is an extraordinary young adult with a very bright future ahead of her. I wholeheartedly agree. We're really excited to recognize Margie's outstanding work in the education program this year with the Youth Initiative Award. Thank you, Margie, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me that I haven't even been a part of Raleigh Little Theater's teaching assistant program for very long, but you all thought enough of me to honor me with this award. I'm extremely passionate about the performing arts. I haven't had the privilege to audition or be a part of one of the productions at Raleigh Little Theater, but I have been performing probably since I could talk, and that's something I'm really passionate about. So if I can help instill that same passion and inspiration in the kids that go to the classes and the camps at Raleigh Little Theater, that makes me forever grateful that you allow me to be a part of that and share the same passion and inspiration that that I share about theater. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Margie, and congratulations to both of you. And thank you so much for your volunteering. We could not do what we do without our awesome teaching assistants.
Thank you.
All right, so I think I'm handing this back to Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
I appreciate it. So now we're going to give out our next slate of Al Wolfheimer Volunteer Awards. So our next Wolfie recipient is Joyce Rothschild. Joyce, I invite you to join me on screen if you want to open up your video. I'm happy to give this award to Joyce on behalf of the entire theater community. And I can say that because I get to see Joyce almost every time I attend a show at another theater in the Triangle. She's always working as part of the front of house team, which she does for us also. But I also am excited to give her this award for her fantastic volunteerism on my annual reading committee. Joyce has served on the reading committee since I started it, and her insights and ability to analyze a play have been so valuable to me as I search for the right scripts to feature on our stages. She's always so kind. She's been a big supporter of mine, and I'm really thankful to know you, Joyce, and I appreciate you. So thank you always for your support. I'm happy to honor you with the Wolfheimer Award.
Patrick, thank you so much for this recognition, and I'm very honored to be part of the Raleigh Little Theater family of incredible staff, performing artists, creative craftsmen, and devoted volunteers. Raleigh Little Theater is such an essential part of the Raleigh community. It's always entertaining us, always educating us, and always engaging us to think outside the boundaries of our own experiences. And as a 20-year-long patron of Raleigh Little Theater, I have a huge collection of playbills that remind me of the many times I've been entertained, educated, and engaged. And so grateful for the people I've met as a patron and as a volunteer, and I can't wait for you to get open again. Thank you so much. It's a joy to know all of you and to be part of this wonderful family. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. I'm going to throw it over to Jenny, who has our next award ready.
Hi. So one day, someone came into our shop looking for something to do, and we happily gave her a project, and after which she kept coming back, which, you know, thrilled everyone. So even after she got a full-time job and had to change her schedule, she's still one of our regulars. Mallory Schultz has been someone the costume shop has relied on ever since the first day she walked into our shop. She is here whenever she can be. If we need extra help, she's here on weekends. She's even stayed until midnight helping us get some stepsisters to the ball this year. We are grateful for the gift of her talent, and we look forward to when we can see her again. She couldn't be here with us tonight, so we will pass on her award to her when we see her. And I believe the next award is being given out by Scott.
Howdy and greetings from the box office. The recipient of this Al D. Wolfheimer Award started as a front of house volunteer in 2018. And since then, she consistently is an usher, works concessions, or house manages for multiple shows on every production. She is calm in all situations, has great attention to detail, and is committed to ensuring patrons and volunteers have an outstanding experience when she house manages. I'm proud to present this Wolfheimer Award to Tommy O'Neill. If you want to join us on screen, Tommy.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you. That was a wonderful description. I kept thinking, I wonder who he's talking about. Thank you so much to the Cantey Selection Committee for this recognition. It really warms my heart. I've loved theater since I was first able to spell the word. And although I was active on stage and backstage during high school and college, circumstances ultimately took me on a different career path. And as a result, I just became an enthusiastic member of the audience. A few years ago, I retired from the public sector, hooray. And I was determined to rekindle my passion for theater. I decided to take a few classes at Raleigh Little Theatre, and they really motivated me, and I began volunteering, first backstage as a dresser, and then I spent a lot of time front of house, which really felt like home to me. Through my journey at RLT, I've had the pleasure of working with some awesome, creative, innovative staff, amazing actors from all walks of life, and scores of dedicated, motivated volunteers like myself. And ultimately, volunteering at RLT has really fed my soul. I especially enjoy meeting diverse personalities in a multitude of situations, and I'm energized each time I learn something new about the theatrical process. And frankly, I've been a bit bummed for the last 4 months, missing so many of the people that I've come to know and respect and love. And I can't wait to get on the other side of this health crisis and get back to the theater. Thank you everyone so much for this recognition.
Thank you, Tommy, and thanks for your dedication to Raleigh Little Theatre. We're now going to head back to Dennis for the next award.
Hi, I didn't see you there. The next award is the Ed Bodell Rookie of the Year Award. The Ed Bodell Rookie of the Year Award recognizes outstanding new volunteers who have joined us at RLT and have quickly become an integral part of our productions. Individuals who are awarded this truly exemplify what it means to be an outstanding volunteer. It's my pleasure to award this to Deb and Dwayne Hewson. They joined us during our Thursday work calls a year ago, and unless there's a natural disaster or a pandemic, you can always expect to see them come through the shop door, excited to take on the new project. They're rarely still when they come to RLT, and they always find something that needs to be built, cleaned, organized, or painted. It's my pleasure to have gotten to know these two. Both Tyler and I are excited that you're getting this award, and I reached out to him so he could share his thoughts. And he says, Dwayne and Debbie are the newest members of our long fabled Thursday crew, and it took no time at all for me to start wondering how we ever got along without them. They arrived early every week, taking a few moments to ask how I was doing and whether the week had so far been a good one before diving into any and every project with tireless enthusiasm. Dwayne handled most of the carpentry tasks, always asking me, is this something close to what you had in mind? While showing me a perfectly constructed version of exactly what I had in mind. Debbie was a wonderful eye for organization and has cleaned and completely reorganized some of the most disastrous corners of the scene shop. She is also a talented carpenter and was an immense help on some of the trickiest projects and those most demanding of careful precision. Most importantly, they brought with them their kindness and warmth their patience, and their love for the simple act of volunteering. I'd like to invite them on now to so they can talk about their experiences on RLT.
Thank you, Dennis. Those are very kind words. When we retired, one of our goals was to volunteer at a community-based project. Raleigh Little Theatre has provided that opportunity. Under the guidance of Dennis and Tyler, we got to work in a great woodworking shop, building and decorating scenes. We work with a great crew, and because everyone wants to be there, it's not like work at all. With the diversity of ages and genders, it feels like the community getting together and completing a project. Besides being a good learning experience, when we go to a performance and see the reaction of the audience and the look on the kids' faces, it makes us proud to be part of the process. So to get the Rookies of the Year award was a complete surprise and icing on the cake. We'd like to thank you, the theater, for letting us join the family, and we look forward to returning once it is safe to do so.
Dennis, thank you for nominating us. And Raleigh Little Theatre, thank you so much. We have had such a great time volunteering there, and we look forward to being back very soon. Thank you.
It's great to see you guys. I can't wait to have you back.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to pass it on to Jenny for our next award.
Hi. This year's Technical Service Award recipient has been a fixture at Raleigh Little Theatre for several years. She has received awards before, but we felt like she deserved another one. She is most frequently working behind the scenes as our dresser crew chief coordinator, or as a dresser crew chief, or as a dresser. Since becoming coordinator, Amy Blackwell has worked nearly every show in some capacity. Actually, I think every show in some capacity. She is backstage to guide new people through the job and to assist the dresser crew in any way needed. She isn't just backstage though. Amy also works front of house as an usher for quite a few shows, as well as working on the audition crews that help keep our auditions running smoothly. She helps around the theater in 1,000 other small ways, and we are grateful to have her as part of our team. Amy, if you could join us.
Hi, Jenny. Thank you very much. One of the first things I did when I moved to Raleigh in 2005 was go to Raleigh Little Theatre. I knew about community theater, and I knew it would be a good place for me, and it has been throughout the years. Almost all of it dressing. I have to say that this season, I learned how to be faster than I have in the past and how to train other people. We did the fastest changes we've ever done, I think, this season. But I know many ways to put clothes on people now and many ways to take them off. And none of this would be possible without the wonderful dresser volunteers that we've had over the years. Continue to try to build that crew. The stage managers that support us, the actors that put up with us when we tell them to do what we tell them and not what they want to do. And certainly your staff in the costume shop, working with the costumes and the volunteers that make them. I've had a wonderful time backstage, and I've made many friends there and developed many skills. I look forward to doing it for many more years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. It's great to hope to see you soon. The next award is going to be given by Kirsten Ellert.
Hello. Thank you so much, Jenny. So this season's Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime was a landmark production for many reasons. As the first local production, Patrick Torres and the Raleigh Little Theatre team created an absolutely stunning piece of art and storytelling. Amongst the many beautiful elements of this show was the incredible talent of a rising young actor. Michael Larson's portrayal of Christopher Boone was a brilliant performance of strength, vulnerability, and stamina. His performance was not built on cliches, but rather on an understanding of this character's emotional depth. His portrayal of Christopher is certainly inspiring in its technical skill and command of the craft of acting, but also for increasing representation in our community on stage. I have no doubt that he has and will continue to inspire many folks, both young and not so young, to pursue their passions and dreams. Thank you, Michael, for your incredible contribution to a very important piece of theater. I am honored to present Michael Larson with an Outstanding Performance Award for this season.
Thank you so much. Working at Raleigh Little Theatre has been one of the most amazing experiences ever. At first, when I first got the part, I didn't know if I was going to be able to, pull it off in any way, shape, or form, because I had never been in anything nearly this big before. But thanks to the incredible direction of our director, Patrick, and our wonderful choreographer, Heather, I felt more welcome than I've ever felt anywhere else, even in like a bunch of smaller productions that I've been in. And it was an amazing experience from beginning to end. I would especially like to thank 3 actors who really made me feel so welcome and accepted among the world of community theater. And those people are Sam, who played Siobhan, Simon, who played Ed, and Rebecca, who played Judy. All of those 3 people were such big influences and really helped influence how I will continue to pursue acting. And everything that they've done has been just a fantastic influence in every way, shape, or form. Just, there are no words to describe how important this experience has been for me. And it's really helped not only improve my acting skills, obviously, but also it really helped improve my maturity level on so many different occasions. It really improved my work ethic, how I'm able to handle lots of different tasks at once. It's just been incredible. So thank you so much for this award. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. It is such an honor to see incredible young talent and be able to present awards for these incredible performers. Antigone is a dream role for so many actresses because it is such an iconic character in theater. She is a woman who speaks truth to power. She stands up for what she believes in and for the dignity of her brother. Despite the life and death consequences, Antigone lifts her voice against the king and proves her love through action while others operate with fear. It is an incredibly demanding role and it demands excellence. Valerie Passat met the challenge head on, and the audience experienced the full range of Antigone's emotions and the full impact of her fight. She was captivating and was supported by the excellent work of all the teens in the production on stage and off stage. A lot of times people will qualify the work of young performers by saying things like, she did such a good job for her age. But Valerie's performance does not need a qualifying statement. Her performance was remarkable, and it is the reason that she is being recognized with an Outstanding Performance Award for this season.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to receive this award. This community has felt like a home to me for the past few years through the Teens on Stage program. I want to thank my parents and siblings for supporting me through all of my endeavors in the arts. But I also really have to thank my amazing director, Meredith, and my peers and lifelong friends in TOS and TBS. I have learned so much thanks to these wonderful people, and I really can't be more thankful for such a welcoming and encouraging community that taught me how to be a strong woman through this character, while also helping me learn to be vulnerable on and off stage. So thank you for this honor and experience.
Thanks, Valerie. I'm going to pass the next award on to Patrick.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I mean, it's just I love seeing everybody. It's such a great reminder of what an incredible season it was. So thanks to everyone. So I get to give the final 2 Wolfheimer Awards of the evening. And I am thrilled to give our next award to Laurel Drobitz. Laurel came to RLT through a backstage night, and we've been lucky to have her as a volunteer ever since. Over the past few seasons, she has contributed as a house manager coordinator, and helped to shape the current policies in both the Sutton and the Gaddy for how we get people in an organized manner and keep them safe and meet all their demands. Laura has a great, calm, but assertive presence, and she's perfect for a house manager. We could not do what we do without her, it is for sure. And I always, as a director, rest easy when I see her taking care of the front of house for us. So we thank you, Laurel, for the work of greeting our audiences and making sure our shows start on time. Laurel Drobitz, everybody.
Thank you. I'm going to keep this short because when we were starting this, I think everybody got serenaded by the dogs. And in this house, you never know when a new serenade is going to come up. But thank you for the award. And I just like to say that I really could not do what I do in the front of house without the excellent help of box office and the ushers and the concession. You know, when things get really hairy, generally everybody pulls together, and it's been a wonderful place to kind of use my gifts and be of service to other people. And I hope to be back with you all soon. I hope we can all get back together again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Laurel. The next Wolfheimer Award goes to Cantey Thompson. So when RLT started seeking more volunteer help with our menu of outdoor events, our next awardee, Cantey Thompson, jumped in to help us make sure these events were as successful as our indoor events. It was a time when we had mostly new crews, and she was willing to step up and lead. During her first shift, she was more than willing to oversee any task that needed attention. That included processing payments, making popcorn, stocking products, all in the sweltering heat. And she kept coming back. So we're fortunate to have her on our team. She has also helped me on the reading committee and given me such valuable insight and honesty and challenged me to think of the shows that we are considering. And I'm really grateful to have her on our team. So we look forward to seeing you again and when we can gather. But this is Cantey Thompson, everybody.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I am thankful and humbled. As you mentioned, I started at RLT last year. I really love theater, but I can't act, I can't dance, and I can't sing. But I really wanted to be a part of something special. And so I started to volunteer. And I have not been let down. Everybody's been so kind and welcoming. And I hope to branch out even further, more than just concessions in front of house. I hope to get a little bit more involved. But thank you so much, guys. And I will see you on the other side.
Thank you, Cantey. I'm going to throw it over to Mike McGee to give us another couple performance awards.
Thank you, Patrick. And I'm super excited to be representing Team Cinderella tonight. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my dear friend Haskell Fitzsimmons and thank him for bringing Cinderella to our community. I've directed Cinderella for 2 years, and I had the pleasure of having this person in my cast both times. The first year she was a page, and although not a huge role, the production team noticed how she was always prepared, always ready to help castmates. And if something unexpected happened on stage, we had faith that she could solve it. This season we cast her as one of the fairy helpers, and if you've seen the show, it's a big role. The characters are in most of the scenes. And as we started rehearsal, she was also in Be More Chill at Interact in a big role as well. But she was always at rehearsal, always prepared, and always brought positive energy. It's been so great to see her mature as a performer over the last 2 years, and she absolutely smashed it every night on stage, just so funny. But even more importantly than being a talented performer, she's an even better person and just a joy to work with. So I'm happy to present this next performance award to Hannah Smith.
Thank you. I don't even know where to start. Cinderella has always been my favorite Disney movie, and getting to be a part of a production that was so warm and so fun, has just been life-changing. I'd like to thank my friends, my family, my mom for driving me, a very late bloomer to the driver's license. So thank you, Mom, for driving me everywhere. Thank you, Mike, for believing in me for 2 years. I don't know what made you bring me back, but thank you. Thank you to the cast and crew, all of the amazing dressers who truly made all of the fairy magic come to life every night. Rachel Ullman and Laurie Wilkinson, my other halves in this show, thank you. Natalia for being my carpool buddy and life-changing conversations. I know I shared this with Mike at the end of Cinderella, but I've been doing theater in the Triangle since I was 10, and I always saw Raleigh Little Theatre as this amazing top of the line theater that I very desperately wanted to be a part of, and I made it my goal to one day be on stage and be a part of this family and legacy. And 10 years later, I graduated and I've met that goal. But I can confidently say that this fantasy I had of Raleigh Little Theatre was, I couldn't have imagined what it truly was. It's a place that is filled with such love and passion and acceptance, and beautiful people, and I will be forever grateful for my experiences at Raleigh Little Theatre and will hold them so dear in my heart. It's hard to think that this might have been my last show in the Triangle for a while, but it could not have been a better experience, better cast, crew. The sheer joy that I witnessed every night, both on stage and off stage, was just so inspiring. I'm just so honored and humbled to be accepting this award, and thank you.
Thanks, Hannah. Hey everyone, Mike McGee is back. So excited to be able to give another Cinderella cast member an award. So this performer and I have always been show adjacent, never getting to work together before, but I'm so glad that changed this year. For those that don't know, we double cast the stepsisters this year. And so since this person was stepmama, spoiler alert, that meant she had to put in double duty in most rehearsals, running scenes with both sets of stepsisters. And then when performances came and we rotated the pairs every performance, you had to be ready to adjust to whichever pair was on stage that night. And through it all, she never complained, maybe a little, but she was always ready to help her castmates, always ready to run the scenes again and again and again. And she gave wonderfully evil performances every night with amazing comedic timing and vocals to match. And like Hannah, even more importantly than being an amazing performer, she's an even more amazing human. So I'm proud to present this next performance award to Lauren Tompkins.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. I'm so flattered. Being a part of RLT, kind of like Hannah said, is something I always kind of dreamed. It was always on my list of things that I wanted to achieve or things I was looking toward. And it just feels like such an honor to call RLT my theater home. I feel like last year I got to do 2 shows there too, which was wonderful. And it just was so overwhelming to be so welcomed and be a part of just such a joyful experience, and especially to be a part of Cinderella, something that is such a tradition and so much history, and to join the long lines of stepmamas. I swear I'm nice in real life, but to play that evil character was just so fun and so joyful. And the cast was so warm, and not just the cast, but everybody backstage, front of house, the costume shop, it just felt wonderful to be an actor in that space and in that environment. And I actually asked Heather recently what the Canteys were like, because I had never been to one in person before. And she said, it's like a big warm hug. And I just feel so grateful that that's how I think about my experience at RLT. It feels like a big warm hug. And so I miss all of you, and I can't wait to be back in that rehearsal room for the first time when we can hug and cry, I'm sure, and just embrace each other and be artists together again. And also just to be in the theater for that first opening night, because I know it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time when we can all embrace and join together again in our art. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Lauren, and congrats to Lauren and Hannah. And I'm going to throw it over back to Dennis.
The York Service Award is presented to a volunteer at the theater in any position. Recipients have been instrumental in the theater's success and have given much time and energy to the theater. Since 1959, Raleigh Little Theatre has given its annual Theater Service Award to truly exceptional volunteers. Recipients have always numbered among those RLT family members whose contributions of time and energy span many areas and many years. They are the backbone of the organization, and without people like them, this theater would not exist. It's my pleasure to give this award to Todd Houseknecht. Todd has been volunteering at RLT and other theaters in the area for decades. Specifically for us here at RLT, he has been our sound designer for countless productions. When he isn't sound designing, he has always made himself available to provide support for any of our events or projects we're working on. He's an incredible volunteer who has made so many of RLT productions sound beautiful. Thank you, Todd, for all your work. And please feel free to share your experiences with us.
Thanks, Dennis. I mean, I really appreciate being awarded this. I think I've rewritten my speech 23 times as I've sitting to listen to what everybody else is saying. But, you know, when I first started at RLT, I was on a work call for The Reluctant Dragon in 2007. And it was just such a special and warm, welcoming place. It felt like home the first night I was there. And initially, I was working on more construction and deck crew. But not too far along, my love for all things sound took over. The first show I remember doing was Hot Mikado in 2008. I remember we had some kind of tired old 1960s column speakers up, and I guess you could say it became a personal mission for me to see what I could do to make things better sound-wise. And it's a mission that stayed with me even to this day. I'm just really grateful for the chance and all the experience I've had with all the wonderful staff and cast and crew. You know, I couldn't imagine my life without theater. And a special shout out just when we were getting the system set up to John Maruka, who contributed so much of his time. And on a personal note, I have to thank my wonderful wife, Lisa, for being patient and putting up with all the time that I spend away from the house. You know, I really miss working with everybody, and I just so look forward to being back there, back behind the board again, and working on another show. So hopefully we can see everybody again soon.
Thank you, Todd. And now I'd like to pass it back to Patrick.
All right. Hi, everybody. So our Haskell Fitzsimmons Distinguished Performer Award, of course, honors Haskell Fitzsimmons, who was my predecessor and who was artistic director for over 30 years and had such a huge impact on this theater that we still feel today. The Haskell Fitzsimmons Distinguished Performer Award honors a volunteer who excels both on stage and off stage. Tonight, we are proud to present the Haskell Fitzsimmons Distinguished Performer Award to Rebecca Johnston, or as we like to call her, Becky J. Becky J has been a volunteer at Raleigh Little Theatre for 40 years. She has spent thousands of hours in rehearsal and in performance and on our stages, bringing her earnest portrayal of characters, her incredible voice, and her passion for the arts to our community. Becky J was also crowned as the very first diva. And just to make sure none of us forgot about that accomplishment, she won Divas again in 2016. And while she is not always a competitor, she volunteers her time at Divas almost every year to mentor the new divas and to play an essential role in making that event our biggest fundraiser. Becky J is an icon at Raleigh Little Theatre. And like the namesake of this award, the history and character of RLT is defined by her participation, her artistry, and her heart. We would not be who we are without her. And we thank Becky J for all she does for us. Becky is not with us on the live call, but I believe we have a video that she submitted to say thank you.
Thank you, Patrick, and the entire RLT staff. I am dumbfounded and humbled to be receiving the Fitzsimmons Award. The award speaks of passion for the craft offstage, inspiring service and dedication to the RLT community. RLT gave me that passion. I came to RLT as a person who walked with her head down, had little self-confidence, and had never set foot on stage. Here, I discovered interest and talents and a passion for theater I didn't know I had and never would have thought possible. Haskell played a big role in this. Today, I am living proof of RLT's valuing education and personal growth. I have received far more from RLT than I ever will be able to give back. So I continue to volunteer at RLT because during my 41 years here, I have witnessed uncountable me's walk in and be transformed, audience members transformed by a performance, children transformed by the educational programs. So I will contribute in whatever way I am able, for as long as I am able, to help ensure RLT can continue to provide opportunities for all to be transformed. Thank you.
All right. And now it is my pleasure to introduce last year's recipient for Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role, Melanie Simmons.
Thank you, Patrick. It's so lovely to see your face and all of your beautiful faces. Gosh, what a night. It's only Raleigh Little Theatre could make this night still so beautiful and heartwarming, even though it has gone virtual. There are some theater experiences that live with you forever, and RLT is home to at least two of mine. The first is being cast by none other than the glorious Patrick himself in Perfect Arrangement, a show that will forever hold a shining spot in my heart. And then when lightning struck twice and I was gifted with the role of Marie Antoinette in The Revolutionists, it felt like a dream. It still feels like a dream sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. Full disclosure, last year's Canteys was so amazing and overwhelming that I kind of blacked out, and I still have to like check the pictures every once in a while to make sure that it actually happened. So even though this year looks different than any of us expected, and let's be honest, parts of it can much more resemble a nightmare than a dream come true, it is still my honor and pleasure to be here to pass along the joy and light and magic that theater can capture by expressing immense appreciation to this new wave of incredible performers. So the first Outstanding Performance Award that I'm happy to present tonight goes to Tyler Graper. For his role of Monty in A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, Tyler turned in a wickedly engaging performance as the lovelorn serial liar / kind of murderer you just can't help rooting for. In one of the brightest productions ever to grace the Sutton main stage, Tyler carried the lead role of this dastardly, delightful musical on his very tall and tirelessly talented shoulders. I was lucky enough to review the show, so you can find my full opinion online. So I will step aside and let Tyler have the virtual floor. If he's still here.
I think we just lost Tyler.
Oh no.
That's okay. Something may have gone on with the internet. I know he's been having some trouble with it tonight, but if he comes back on, we'll make sure he gets a chance. But thank you, Melanie, and you can move on to the next person.
Tyler, we still love you completely, and if we see you again, we'll let you jump right in. Until then, know that we love you, and your performance was amazing. It was Gentleman's Guide was truly one of Raleigh Little Theatre's high watermark productions. One of the finest I've ever seen there, truly. And my congratulations to Tyler and Patrick and the rest of the stunning cast and crew. Tyler, yay, he showed up. Tyler, I was just finishing up, so please take the floor. Yay.
Oh, thank God. I'm going to be real fast because my internet connection has been real shoddy. I'd really like to just thank Raleigh Little Theatre so much and the Cantey Award panel, the multitudes of volunteers that keep RLT running like a well-oiled machine. I want to thank my family, my best friends, Marilyn and Hannah, and my partner, David, who all continue to love and provide me support to do this wonderful, amazing, beautiful thing that we call performing. I want to thank the cast and crew of Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder for banding together to tame one beast of a show and for giving our audiences an amazing night of theater, night after night. And finally, I would like to just use my remaining time to try and remind everyone to please register to vote and to really think about who we want to be as a nation this coming November. I love you all and thank you so much.
Okay. We love you too, Tyler. So glad you were able to get in there. Okay, let me get back to my script. The next Outstanding Performance Award that I'm honored to give out goes to not only one of my favorite actresses here in Raleigh, but also one of my favorite people. While we have not yet worked together on stage, I was lucky enough to spend a day on set with her and her delightful and also talented daughter. And I can tell you that she really, truly is just one of those incredible people that I just feel lucky to know. Rebecca Bloom's portrayal of Judy in The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime was a wrenching display of the complex, confusing, beautiful, and brutal facets that make up the thing that we call motherly love. In the pivotal role of Christopher's erstwhile mother, Rebecca brought raw, unapologetic emotion to a role that could easily be misunderstood. But under Patrick's deft direction, Rebecca created a character who refused to be put in a box and thus was impossible not to love. Again, I was honored to review the show online, so I will step aside and give Rebecca the virtual floor. And I hope she's still there. She is.
Thank you, Melanie. That's very kind. Well, my heart is just overflowing with gratitude right now. I am grateful that the planets aligned and I was able to audition for this show. I don't get that chance very often. I'm grateful to Patrick for giving me the opportunity to play a part in telling that story. I'm grateful for the cast and crew that stood around me, literally and figuratively, on stage and off stage when life threw curveballs, like it does. Grateful to Seth, who is always supportive of me, and the kids, our kids, who were so excited from beginning to end. And let's be honest, you know, they're the ones who gave me the life experience that made me qualified to play the role in the first place. This production not only filled my creative bucket, but it threw me back into the community that I love so much. It made me a better artist, and the subject matter and the process and the people, and I'm talking about you, Michael, made me a better human. I mean, what more can we ask for in a hobby? The character Judy, yeah, she has good qualities and some not so great qualities that I got to explore. But I have so much compassion for her complicated part in that story. And it meant so much to me when people said that she resonated with them. And I take this recognition and this award as an extension of that compliment. Every experience that I have at RLT, I treasure, but this one will always hold a really special place in my heart, and I will always be grateful. So thank you, RLT. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rebecca. Though abbreviated, this past season truly featured some of Raleigh Little Theater's bravest storytelling to date. And all the love and appreciation in my heart and all the world goes out to the talented, dedicated, and passionate cast, crew, and staff of this amazing theater that will forever be part of my heart and that of countless others. For so many reasons, 2019-2020 season will never be forgotten. And I hope that tonight is a good example of just the bright spots that we do not want to lose into the darkness. So thank you very much. And It is my pleasure to turn the virtual stage over to a wonderful theater aficionado, an educator, and a recent interviewer of mine, courtesy of Larry Evans' Talking With series, the delightful Kathleen Rudolph.
Thanks, Melanie. Thank you so much. This next Outstanding Performance Award is very dear to my heart. And not only because I was a part of this amazing journey, but because it represents a time that RLT was normal. Seussical closed on March 1st. And back then, our biggest problem was the office bathrooms clogging up. Directors often say that casting is everything. And in this case, it definitely was true. When this person showed up at auditions, I breathed a sigh of relief and also became very excited as to what this show could become. Words that come to mind when I think about this actor are kind, caring, considerate, both as an actor and as a human, open, collaborative, thoughtful. He spent much time developing his character into the perfect Horton, and I'm grateful to have been able to work with him. This performance award goes to Hakeem Abdur Rahim.
Thank you so much, Kathleen, for your kind words. I am, part of me is just so moved and yet saddened that Raleigh Little Theater is not open, but I am so thankful for the open arms that were given to me, the emotion, the positive energy, just all of it, from literally receiving a part 2 weeks after I graduated. And for you to allow me that opportunity was amazing. And it was such a time in my life in which I needed it. And so thank you so much for that. Thank you to the committee. Thank you to everyone who was part of the process. I also like to especially thank David Watts, Jerry, and oh my gosh, and Barbara. I cannot forget Barbara because she just she made me feel at home. But I also want to thank oh gosh, before I even get into that, thank you. As the last day that we were, setting up shop, taking down shop and just breaking down the whole set. As soon as I walked out of those doors, I cried because it was such it was so hard for me to leave. I wanted to stay the night. I wanted to stay there forever. I did not want to leave. So I thank you to the kids that were part of the process, especially to Maddie, Claire, David. I just, oh my gosh, the kids were amazing. Everyone was so amazing. And I really cannot get past of how thankful I am for this opportunity. Also, I cannot forget Atticus. Atticus, I hope he's listening, but Atticus showed me a part of myself that I found through him, and it was great. So thank you so much for all opportunities. Thank you. I'm just, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I was excited when I was asked to give out this next award. Being as old as I am, the Peanuts cartoons were very much a part of my young life. Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Lucy, these were not just characters in the paper. They were characters I could relate to in my young life. In addition, I had directed the musical Snoopy for Raleigh Little Theatre, so I felt a big connection to You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. In any show, some characters are more difficult to portray than others. This was the case in this recent production. According to Wikipedia, words that describe Snoopy are loyal, imaginative, good-natured, selfish, gluttonous, and lazy. How can one actor represent all those character traits? And the songs required a performer who displayed honesty, kindness, and adventure all at once. Well, this actor did that with a flair. This performance award goes to Tim Poliquin.
Hi there. Got my baseball Snoopy hat on. you know, when I first heard about this, I assumed that it was going to be like the least improved dancer award. I had no idea what a pony was before we started. I'm still not sure that I know what it is. But I may have done one a couple of nights. Oh, I first listened to Your Good Man Charlie Brown like in the early 2000s, shortly after the Revival Cast album came out, and I just immediately fell in love with the show. There was nothing quite like those classic characters taking the stage and belting out those amazing, super catchy songs. I'd always hoped that someday I'd get the chance to play Snoopy, like fingers crossed. And you know, it finally happened, and it's really been a dream come true, and it was an honor to perform that role with Raleigh Little Theatre. I just wanted to thank like all of my fellow castmates, Nikki, Caroline, Gabe, Brittany, Brian, Grace, Rebecca, and Davis. You guys were amazing and so much fun to play with. Our stage directors and our assistant stage director, Catherine, Noah, Dan Bain, and of course, like Michael and Matt, Patrick, you guys were amazing. Our crew, everyone else at RLT that made this production. It was just so much fun, and it was so enjoyable, and it was really like one of the big highlights of my life. You know, whether we were getting confused about who was supposed to move which box, or praying that our blankets would fall, or you know, whether we were mocking Noah with fake call times, it was a huge blast. I'd also like to give another big thank you to my girlfriend, Alexandra, and everyone else who just helped me and pushed me to go out for this role. It really is an experience that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. So thank you. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and I hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you, Tim. And now I'm handing it back to Patrick.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. So good to see you in this, even if it's in this virtual space. We're almost done, folks. So I just want to remind you as we start to wrap up here to put your vote for your favorite production into whatever online platform you're using. You know, we'd love to hear from you. And, you know, I know that the awards are different this year, but I still hope that they're very special. To all of you who received an award tonight, thank you for the countless hours that you spent. And to all of you who worked next to them, I know that they thank you as well. And we really appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you again. And I'm going to turn it back over to Heather for our closing remarks.
Congratulations to all that were recognized tonight, and congratulations to all that have shared in any part of our shows, our events, and our education program. RLT for the 5th year in a row won the Independent Weekly's Best Live Theater Company, and we have won Best Summer Camp for the past 2 years. None of this is possible without our incredible volunteers. I hope that you'll join us this weekend for the final performances of She Kills Monsters with our Teens on Stage, Teens Backstage, and join us next week for Divas virtual version. Thank you all so much for being with us tonight. This was almost as good as being in person, to see all your faces and hear about all the inspiration and how you also call RLT your home and your community. I hope you're all safe and well, and we cannot wait to see you at the theater. Have a good night.